Greetings from the Eccentric Man, and in this video I go through how I set about doing a new project, and this one is the Canadians in Sicily, 1943. Sit back and enjoy, but don't forget to check out the exciting announcement at the end of the video. The Eccentric Man YouTube channel is kindly sponsored by Lost Ark Games in Stevenage. They've got a tremendous range of gaming goodies to have a look at, so stop in the store or check them out online. Well, how do I start a new project? Well, normally it's I read something, or I see something on the internet, or I see a video, or watch a film, and it just fires my imagination. And in this case, the catalyst was Sicily 43 by James Holland, an account of, at the time, the largest seaborne invasion of the war ever, combining the Canadians, the Americans and the British. An incredible story, and this book takes all the way through. And what I quite fancied was the Canadians' role in this. It was the first time that they were deployed into the combat zones overseas, and it's a great story. Following up on that, I read this Mark Zuehlke book, a Canadian, and it's all about Canada's actions in Operation Husky, and it covers the Canadian 1st Division all the way through. A really excellent read. I was particularly drawn to some of the regiments that were present. The Seaforth Highlanders of Canada, the Loyal Edmontons, the Hasty Peas, which is I think the Hastings and Princess Regiment, and the Three Rivers Tank Regiment, or 12th Regiment. Marvellous names, and the actions that they were involved in as their first taste of war. The Canadians proved to be an extremely good fighting force by the end of Sicily. And then we had the drop of Italy Soft Underbelly from Warlord Games for Bolt Action, their campaign book, and it covers the Sicily campaign as the lead up to then moving into Italy. So those were the sort of sources that I could use to bring the army on. Having decided on the regiments, it was then a time to look at, well, how am I going to paint these and what am I going to do? It was a Canadian 1st Division, and you can see that there's the square patch on their arm, and that's red. And I've got to build up the confidence to actually stick that onto the battle dresses. But looking at the variety of the uniforms, you've got shorts, you've got rolled up sleeve tops, you've got long-legged slack trousers, you've got dark coloured helmets, you've got dark coloured webbing, you've got light coloured webbing. It's such a variety. You can see here, marching along, you've got the khaki drill shirts, you've got the light coloured khaki drill slacks for some units, but it's such a variety. So how was I going to do this? Time for a look at the Warlord Games website, because I like to do it in plastics, and I thought that was going to be my best bet. Let's have a look then at what we've got to put this project together so far. So let's have a little look in a bit closer detail. So we've seen the pictures of the Canadians in Sicily, and we've seen that the clothing is very varied. We've got the khaki drill, we've got the serge wool, all in the sort of the desert colours, and most of it is in the same uniform colours as the British 8th Army. So the uniform is just the same really, very little difference. But slightly different colours, the serge wool, if we look at the Canadian as opposed to the British. I mean, there's such a mix of colours, and then in the desert, well, in the dusty environments of Sicily, and it is pretty hot and sunny and dry and dusty there in the summer. The clothing does get a bit sun-worn. So we're going to have quite good variation, I think, in the colours. So what we've got here is our infantry support box, and that's going to give us the medium machine gun if I ever use it. Sometimes I do. We've got the officer and a radio man. the medic's got the stretcher. We've got a second officer with the Thompson, which is good because the Canadians did use the Thompsons for their NCOs and officers. And we've got the medium mortar up the top. So these ones are all metal, so hopefully they'll fit in okay with the plastics. But they shouldn't be too far adrift, normally not, for Warlord. So let's have a little look at what we've got in the box. As usual, packed up in the blisters. And yeah, they look quite nice. Let's have a look at the detail on them. And off we go onto the table. So, yeah. Officer smoking a pipe and wearing his jumper. So, that's good. Nice character figure. And with his mug, of course. Little moustache and pipe. Yeah, the books I've been reading for Sicily are really very good, and I'll put links to them in the details. But certainly I recommend James Holland, Sicily 1943, an excellent book. And I think it's Mark Zuehlke, a Canadian writer, and Operation Husky is really good. And really those are the two books that have given me my motivation to paint up a Canadian army for Sicily. I've got the Africa Corps, and I've got the 8th Army figures for an Indian 8th Army bolt action army. But I think what I'll do for this one is build this one up for both bolt action and chain of command at some stage. Why I've gone to Sicily? I do like that sort of time period, Sicily and the Italy, and with the soft underbelly campaign book coming out from Warlord Games, that sort of gave me a little bit of impetus to do it. So yeah, looking nice, looking good. Quite amusing with the monkey on this one. Let's get focused if we can. Yep, there we go. Yep, good little sconce. I need a little bit of flash taken off, but not a great deal. That won't cause too much difficulty. Now the painting is going to be an interesting way forward, because there'll be a mix of the serge wool and the khaki drill material, and they vary in different colours. Sometimes when you look at the old pictures, the whole figure will look like it's in the same colour, so the shirt, the shorts, all the same. And then you look at another picture, and then the shorts are darker for the whole section, rather than just, oh well, this guy's had his longer. But there is a difference in the hue of colour, so it's slightly the darker than the tops. So yeah, it'll be an interesting mix of where we go. So let's have a look at what we're going to do about the infantry. What's really drawn me to it is the mix of uniforms, and fortunately what we've got now is the recently released British, Canadian and Army infantry 43 to 45, which I'm thinking, with a bit of luck, I'm going to be able to match with the 8th Army. Now the 8th Army figures are all in shorts, but with the British and Canadian Infantry here, we've got trousers. And depending on how I paint them, they can be either the khaki drill slacks or the serge wool battle dress. So we've got an option. And for the top halves, we can, with a bit of luck, play with and put in sleeves and shirts, sleeveless shirts. It might need a bit of tinkering with and playing around with, but I'm hoping that that is going to be a way forward. Hopefully I won't have to cut them all in half, because that's going to look a little bit tricky with the ammo pouches, the webbing. So I'm going to wonder whether it can just be a mix. We're going to have to see what we can do. But there we go, it's not impossible. So I'm going to have a look at how we do it. So there's the infantry, that's my theory behind it. So we're going to do a little bit of kit bashing on the figures. So we've not got the figures out just yet to have a look at, to see where this will be going. Oh, what have we got? Oh, we got decals. Got some decals. Oh, what have we got here? Oh yeah. The 3rd Canadian Division, which is a bit of a shame because I'm doing the 1st, which means that the square on their arms, those ones down at the bottom, should be red. But we might be able to put these on and then touch them up carefully with some strong glasses and a small brush and turn them red for the battle dress. But we'll give that one a go. Screws. So as we normally have now, the bodies and the arms. Ammo pouches and additional ammo bits, pit carrier, and our 2-inch mortar. Oh, some nice little Mills grenades, the oldie piney apple, as they were called. Arm with some binoculars, that's nice. Hopefully that will fit over the head quite nicely. Nice little pistol there, and tin hat. Oh, look at the mugs on the back of the packs. We like that. We do like that. Look at that. Yeah, excellent. So, I presume they're all the same. That's a lot of pit men, if I wanted them. So we got, oh yeah, I should have had a look at what we've got. We got no prone, one man kneeling, one man running, one man standing in a sort of legs apart stance, 2 of them, one moving along. Yeah, they look good. One's a little Sten gun there, Bren gun, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rifles. God, that's pretty good, isn't it? Quite a few Sten guns. I can't see the submachine guns, which is a bit odd. I will be doing the C4 Highlanders, so we've got the Tam O'Shanters down at the bottom, so that's quite good. And we'll be doing the Royal Edmontons. They They won't have any of the tam o'shanties, but we're looking good there. Yeah, so Canadians, they did have the submachine guns, the Thompsons, I believe. So that's one thing we're going to have a little look at and see how we can do. I have got a box of Americans, D-Day Americans. So I'm going to have some Thompson machine guns in that. But I will double check to see what we've got that way. So yeah, it'll be interesting how we chop and change some of these. We shall see. Let's stop this and I'll get the next box and we'll just put this in off camera. So our next one is the British 8th Army box. And you do get a couple of prone figures in this one, but no decals to go on them, which is interesting. No decals. I couldn't remember getting them last time. So we've got all our bits there. So our sprues. Wearing shorts going forward. Got our rifleman. And there is one. That's not so bad, then, is it? We've got one on here, or two on it. Yeah, so we got our Thompsons that we can give to the Canadian NCOs. That'll be fine. And we've got moving brain gun, but of course no Piat on this one because in 42 they didn't have them. So, and remember, this is the British 8th Army, so this is before moving into Sicily. But lots of rifles. And again, we've got more tam o'shanter hats. So we've got more tam o'shanter hats than we can... God, just so many of them. Yeah, that's going to be the little bit of thing is which bodies can we cut, perhaps, to swap onto other figures. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's going to be a little ongoing project. So, infantry, yeah, that's what we got. Now let's have a look at our armour. Lo and behold, what have we got? We've got a Sherman. Now, the regiment that I'm hoping to be sort of using is the Three Rivers Regiment. And they did have Shermans. The tricky bit, though, is whether they are Sherman 5s or Sherman 3s. I'm probably thinking that they're going to be Sherman 3s. The difference on the Sherman 3 and the 5, well, not a vast amount really, apart from the hatch on this right hand, this additional bit of armour on this right hand side. But the key thing for the Canadian Shermans is the gearbox cover. It has this particular gearbox cover, so that's what we're going for. I've been looking at what colours to paint them, which is quite interesting. We'll be going for a light stone, I think it was called, SCC 4 for the main tank, the base colour, and SCC 14, which is the black. And the camouflage is on the bottom part of the tank hull, and oddly on the bottom part of the turret, and the rest above it. So it's more or less a wavy line of black camouflage around the bottom bit of the tank, and then around the bottom bit of the turret. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. And also they didn't have the Allied roundels and stars at Sicily. They had the Canadian white and red flag on the side. So why I went 5? Because I couldn't really get a Sherman 3. unless I wanted to get it printed off in resin and then ordered. But that wasn't going to be an option for me today. So I got myself the 5. The 5, as I say, the 5 was in Italy and in Sicily, but I think the 3 Ruse Regiment did have the 3, but it won't really matter too much to me when the tank's put up. There might be a little bit of difference in the turret shape as well, possibly. But anyway, hey ho, that's what we've got. That's what it will be painted up as. So what else will I need? Well, I've still got to get a few little bits, and I'll need to get an armoured car, and there's certainly a number of Canadian armoured cars that I can choose from. Couple of Bren carriers possibly, which I have to see. They did use them, and we need a 25 pounder. Certainly need a 25 pounder gun to go with it all. And that's the Canadian Army. So what I'm hoping to do is to put a series of videos together to cover the build. So we'll do the tank as a little project on its own, and we'll do the infantry as projects as we wander through putting the sections together. I'm probably going to be building them bigger than I would normally do. I normally run units of 8 regular for bolt action. But I'll probably want to do chain of command with this as well. So I have to do slightly bigger units for chain of command. So certainly 10 men. Because if I remember right, we've got a 5 or 6 man rifle section, the NCO, and a Bren section. And I'm thinking of whether the Bren section is the Bren gun and 3 men, or the Bren gun and 4 men. So we're looking at a section of 10 men, I think, which is doable in bolt action, but normally I scrimp on the points and just run 8-man regular sections. First unit of Canadians put together, and I went for the C4 Highlanders, and I've put a little bit of a smattering of the bonnets into the unit. A 10-man unit, so that'll do me bolt action and chain of command. Things that I've had to do, well, I didn't want them all to have bayonets, so I've trimmed the bayonets off and put them just back to normal rifles. And also, when you mix and match between the 8th Army bodies and the 1943 British Canadian bodies, then the arms can be a little bit tricky. They do seem not quite such a good match between the two. I think it's just because of the positioning under the packs on the different bodies, but it's been able to be done. So in here I've got a mix of trousers, or the slacks, or the serge battle dress trousers, and the shirts, and then shorts and long sleeves. So yeah, so doing a good mix there. Probably in the next batch I'll have some which are in full battle dress, or it will be the equivalent of the khaki drill. Just a matter of how I paint it, I think. So my first unit, so yeah, I'll be pleased to have a go at painting these and seeing if I can get them to match what I've got in my head. So this is it then, the first unit ready to be primed and painted. I hope you'll join in with me and keep watching, and look out for the different videos of the Canadian 1st Division as we go along. And now something else exciting to share with you is the upcoming Kickstarter, which starts tonight at 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time in the United Kingdom, and it's the Plimsoll Bridge campaign book. It's a Kickstarter by Rex and Dan from Valhalla Games, and it is stuffed full with exciting stuff. If you don't already subscribe to them on YouTube, please do. They've got some really nice battle reports around the Plimsoll Bridge and other Sicily-based games. The campaign book is going to be excellent. I've looked at the preview of it, and it's got Lots of history. Dan's an ex-British paratrooper. He's now in the New Zealand Army. And Rex has got some really good building skills of terrain. The book has that. It has history. It has the Plimsoll Bridge actual campaign. It takes you through battles that you can play. It's not just for bolt action. It can do chain of command. It can do any World War II rules that you're using. It comes with maps that you've probably never seen about Plimsoll Bridge that Dan's been able to get access to through his links with the British paratroopers. I'm looking forward to it, and I certainly will be backing it when it comes out tonight. But please do check it out, and if you like that sort of thing, go for it. I think it's the start of a number of books that they will actually put together. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Stick comments in the comments below about the build and the project, or how you go about building the project, and I'll chat to you on there. But until the next time, don't forget, hit that notification button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and give it a thumbs up if you liked it. So, see you soon with I think, a channel update, at least.